Mick Cronin's going to work, fellas. He's going to work. Top-rated recruiting class gets even better.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Locked On UCLA. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks for making this show your first listen each and every day. It's free wherever you get your episodes, your podcast, and it's available to watch on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for your support. We're getting in the nitty-gritty of things because the Bruins, by golly, UCLA Basketball, after going completely young with the freshman core mixed with Bona, Andrews, and company, and Stefanovic in 23-24, Cronin is saying, screw all that jazz. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. We're going to get guys in the portal just like this. Left, right, up, down, everything. And they still might not even be done. What am I talking about right now? UCLA has added to Skyy Clark, to Eric Dailey Jr., to Kobe Johnson, who was a top 10 transfer portal recruit Cronin already snagged from SC, and now they've added Tyler Bilodeau from Oregon State. Maybe it was all said and done, but he is committed as of April the 20th on a Saturday. In the middle of the day, it was like, yo, I'm going to UCLA. And the Bruins, who already debatably have a top-ranked transfer recruiting class in the country, between them and Kansas, whoever you want to talk about in the country, who they've lost, yes, I would like to see those guys develop. But who UCLA and Mick Cronin are bringing in, my goodness. And there still might be more? Are you kidding me right now? Look at this. Bilodeau, coming from Oregon State, was their second leading scorer for the Beavers, who, despite being amongst the bottom of the Pac-12, were not that bad. They also have Bilodeau being the second best rebounder for Oregon State, led the team in total rebounds, decent three-point shooter, 34%, and a 14-point-per-game scorer, getting up to 26 points a couple of times, including beating SC. So I'm sure him and Kobe Johnson have something to talk about in the locker room before becoming boys and playing for Mick Cronin's squad. My goodness, Cronin is going after everybody. He's got 2 more years of eligibility, 6'9" sophomore from Kennewick, Washington. The Bruins were battling for this guy. I think I was reading Bruin Report 24/7 Sports about how it was between them and Washington. Officially visited both, and UCLA comes away. Because remember, Washington's going through a transitionary period with their coaching change. Cronin's established saying, we want you, I want you, the Bruins need you, and we will use you to the best of our abilities. It's a top-ranked transfer class that's got even better. I'm looking at rankings of 24/7 Sports, different websites. Before the Bilodeau signing and commitment, they were already 1 and 2. Now you add in a guy who could shoot the three, much better than what the Bruins could, can score the basketball, add it in a 6'9" frame. You've got the lefty, you've got the righty 6'8", 6'9" with Eric Dailey earlier in the week from Oklahoma State. Then you get another team that wears orange and black. You go from a Cowboy to a Beaver. My goodness. Cronin will not relent with what he is doing right now. This is a team that is going into the Big Ten ready to compete. And remember, to some top dogs, think about this. Purdue, they're not probably going to be as strong despite making a national championship game appearance. You've got Michigan and Ohio State changing coaches. Michigan State has been floating into the tournament in recent years. You look at Washington, Oregon, all right, USC, new head coach, although Musselman's probably going to do some things. Look at UCLA. They're bringing back some talent. The guys they wanted are staying. The talent to replace departures, I think, so far outweighs these guys. And I don't want to talk bad about the Will McClendons or the Onvides or the Feeblays. I think they could have developed, but maybe it's just not at UCLA and in different roles at a different school, a breath of fresh air that is not Westwood. They can probably succeed, and I think they can. But these guys, from what UCLA got contribution-wise to what they're bringing in and still might bring in with one Dominic Harris from LMU, is absolutely mind-boggling. My goodness. Cronin went after the freshman, and I wanted to believe the hype, the international. There's still not anything I've read fully, looked, tried to hear about with Adem Bona and Bilodeau just at this moment. But overall, Cronin is completely shifting gears. He says, you know what? I need money. Throughout the season, Cronin was saying repeatedly, we need this NIL to step it up. I need to go get guys in the portal. I couldn't do that last year, so we're stuck with 7 freshmen and 1 transfer. This year, 4 commits, 3 signees, probably maybe another one on the way. Maybe there's 5 or 6, considering UCLA might go after someone who's 6'10", 6'11", go after a big post man to replace Adem Bona, or Cronin says, forget it. I'm going small. Guys who can shoot, who can defend, who are athletic like Dailey, can play some defense, because Bilodeau was able to be amongst the better Beaver defenders, blocks and steals wise, those numbers specifically. Didn't lead the team in either of those categories, but this is a team that's longer at point guard, more physical, shorter in the front court at this moment. I mean, yes, they have Mata, they have Devin Williams, but until we finally get an official word, UCLA, with the guys they're bringing in, could start with just those guys, and they'd be small, and Cronin would be fine. If he goes to his bench with the Badakeys and the Dyes and Devin Williams, and that's what he shifts in, they still got a decent 5. They've got plenty of 3 or 4 options, 2, 1. It'll be a battle for playing time. These are hoopers. And don't be surprised if 1 or 2 of these guys transfer out next year, depending on who it is, because there will be a competition for playing time. You're telling me Andrews, Mack, Skyy Clark, all those guys are going to be battling for time, and someone's not going to be happy about it? Possibly, but right now where the team is headed, that is a lot of talent, a lot more options that Cronin can go to, mixing up the lineup, maybe not having to rely so much on 38 minutes per game Dylan Andrews. Maybe you can give him a break, shift things around from the guard aspect to the 2, 3, 4. That has a lot more wiggle room at this very juncture of the offseason. We're only a couple weeks away from the national champion just being crowned in UConn. And now UCLA is saying, hey, look at us. Put us in that shortlist. Put us in that way too early top 25 that the Bruins would not get any respect for. Cronin is angry. After not getting in the tournament, losing record at UCLA, you're kidding me right now? Bilodeau is something UCLA did not have consistently in any consistency out of the 4, because Bilodeau was a little late to the program to get eligible. Then he was hurt again, everything. But Cronin is getting proven guys. This is what the portal can do. 1, 2-time transfers now. You're getting proven hoopers who can shoot, who can make buckets. This is Bilodeau, who is coming in as a junior, a couple years of eligibility. Guys who possibly might stick around 1 to 2 years at UCLA, right? Andrews, Matt, this is a team that could be good 1 to 2 years potentially with eligibility. I know Kobe Johnson's a senior, but Dailey, I wonder what his NBA readiness, Kobe, in his coming up to eligibility, what's he going to do? Johnson's got 1 year, but Clark, hey, there are some guys that if Cronin can keep this foundation 1 to 2 years, my goodness, 24, 25, 25, 26, the Bruins might be a clear contender immediately, not just in the Big Ten, because that was hopefully expected, even though the Big Ten is probably slightly overrated, but still very tough, unbelievable teams to play night in, night out. Imagine a road game at Northwestern in the middle of the week. You probably are going to get stuck in a sellout crowd. And when they had, Boo Booey and all them, Northwestern's still a tough team to beat. But UCLA, they're ready to compete now in the Big Ten with what Mick Cronin has compiled. He was lacking some athleticism defensively at some positions, especially at the guards or depth-wise, or, just to make up for the lack of defense in the front when they're forcing Bona to go make plays. Then you've got shooting, scoring, rebounding, addressing all these things, all these intangibles late in games where the Bruins were just stuck numerous times. Who are you going to go to shoot the ball? I don't know. The year before, when they made it to the Sweet 16 with the team that won the Pac-12, you had Hawkes, you had Singleton who could shoot the 3, Tiger, you had Amari Bailey, Adem Bona. That's 5 guys. That's 5 guys who could score. This year, you're like, maybe some of these guys might hit a 3 and we'll be lucky. And if they're nice and Bona's not in foul trouble, they might be able to get him the ball in the post and he can score. Now, Dylan Andrews, very clutch down the stretch. Mack, maybe with some development, can drive to the hole, get free throws, focus on that, maybe improve his jump shot consistently and get the consistency and efficiency that's needed out of Mack. You look at Skyy Clark, who comes in with a scoring knack in his game already to his name and the ability to shoot the 3. You got Bilodeau. You got Dailey who can stretch the three and shoot the three. You've got a lot of guys coming in who can score the ball. Now, with some defensive intangibles, some leadership in the locker room now added with Kobe Johnson, this is a team that hopefully gels together and is immediately addressing significant concerns from the youthfulness, lack of scoring, just the dreadful times when UCLA would go through losing streaks. I think this team is immediately addressing all those right now. That is what Mick Cronin is doing, addressing his needs, improving his roster, and saying, all right, I'm tired of talking. Not that he's tired of talking good. You always want to talk great about your players, but he's going after guys that are legitimate 1 to 2 options on their teams right now and bringing them, and they might be a 4th or 5th option right now for UCLA. Legitimately. Bilodeau, a 1, 2, 3 option. Skyy Clark, put up 36, gets a Final Four participant in NC State. Dailey can fill a role for UCLA in a position that they needed more production in last year. Right? Kobe Johnson is going to be a plug-and-play guy immediately in that starting lineup. Those are 1, 2, 3. Maybe Johnson wasn't that loud scoring presence, but these are top-tier options that UCLA went from, all right, maybe 1 or 2 options. You're lucky, right? Stephon was just, no, boom, 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 boom. 7, 8, 9 deep. Cronin touted his depth last year. The depth this year is going to be so much better. I'd like to believe so. I think with what he's brought in, the depth will be there. Gel, play defense, hit a couple more shots. And think about all the games they could have won by playing better defense down the stretch in some late games, not having to rely on Bona and his foul trouble, even though he's elite in the defensive player of the year in the Pac-12. Imagine having a collectively better unit defensively where it did not rely so much on Bona. And most importantly, 5 scorers who can make moves and get the ball in the hoop without the needing of 5 decent passes in a row, which is fine. That's traditional, fundamental basketball, but these are guys who can get buckets. Bilodeau comes in, man. He scored 26 at Oregon, for gosh sakes, the last time they get to play each other as conference foes. And Oregon made it to the tournament, was battling. So this is a guy who can hoop, did it on the road against some top-tier competition, some stout teams, and he's ready to go. So Tyler Bilodeau, Skyy Clark, Kobe Johnson, Eric Dailey Jr., my word, that has to be the top tier, top-ranked recruiting class in the country right now in transfer portal rankings. And the Bruins still might get another guy or two. Now, the scholarship spots, the guys have to leave to make more of these spots happen, right? There's got to be another guy to leave if Cronin's going to go after someone else to fill the void that is Adem Bona. If Bona stayed, my goodness gracious, this team is on the short list, I would think, too. Extreme improvement from one year to the next. And the Bruins should be amongst the favorites in the Big Ten and to compete deep in the NCAA tournament next year in March and April of 2025. But at the moment, they're trying to replace their center, get some size. They got some scoring and some elite athletic size that can score and stretch the floor. Now, Cronin, I know I'm not begging for more, but I can't wait for what's in store. Man, I hope this pod certainly wasn't a bore. Let's go. I hope you felt it in the core. And if you Locked On UCLA fans are begging for more, hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's talk about our sponsors in a moment, and then we'll do an 8 clap just because out of sheer excitement. Let's go. I've been told I'm competitive. I'm feisty. I'm sitting here waiting for a softball league, basketball tournament. I'm crazy. And then you get some competitive game juices flowing in me. You know what I like to play? Let's get some Monopoly Go. Download it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. A great twist on classic Monopoly. You can not just play in one, but hundreds of boards, crazy locations, building up amazing cities that brings you big money, all caps. Because the best part is I love to mess with my friends. I like to go, oops, sorry, I could charge them rent on my iconic properties, just like a classic Monopoly. Leaderboard shows me who the biggest tycoon is, and I'm hoping that I'm on the top of that as well. And I can heist my buddy's vault of riches for myself. So get in the game, join your friends, join me, and download Monopoly Go now free on the App Store and Google Play. Now, I know you UCLA fans, we're going to be wanting to get all those tickets next year in Pollard Pavilion when the Big Ten teams are coming across. Maybe you want to go watch them on the road. Game time is your place to be. Maybe those single game tickets aren't on sale now, but there are certainly events right now happening in LA that are going to get you hyped. Stanley Cup, you got NBA playoffs, Lakers, Clippers, you got all this awesomeness with Game Time, which is also the authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball. Makes tickets get them easier, faster, and the prices actually go down on the Game Time app when it gets closer to first pitch if you're trying to get your Major League Baseball tickets. Hey, there's also all the other playoff events as well. Because priority last-minute deals save up to 60% up to last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Take the guesswork out of buying when you buy tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Create an account. Redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. That is Locked On College for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, wrapping things up here on Locked On UCLA. It's your host, Zach, saying, what's up? Tyler Bilodeau is the latest Bruin to commit via the portal. Man, it is opening up for Mick Cronin in this Bruins. That NIL is kicking in. Everybody's going to be excited in Westwood. I am ready to go. As you can see, I am jazzed. Not Utah Jazz. I am excited. So I want a loud A clap. If you're sitting at home, if you're watching on YouTube, you're thinking this man's a fool. That's right, because it's cool. Get your hands up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA. Fight, fight, fight. This has been Locked On UCLA. I'm Zach signing off saying like, comment, subscribe, review. Thanks for your support. Go Bruins.